2 years ago, I started making jewelry. What actually happened was something I did not see coming, and I am still in the messy middle of it. Today's story is about 68 places, 17 months, and the one spot that made me say, damn, I wish I had more time. We left Philadelphia and we were broken open. But we were also oddly, utterly free. With COVID, our jobs had gone full remote, so as long as we had decent Wi-Fi, we were good. There was nothing restricting us anymore, nothing tying us back to Philadelphia. So we put all of our stuff in a storage unit, packed our essentials into our Mazda, and we just started driving. And sweet Oliver, in his passing, gave us a very, very special gift because Oliver was fucking horrible in the car. I mean, this dog, 90 pounds, fucking terrified of being in a car. He couldn't lay down. He'd be panting and drooling and like whining the entire trip consistently. We literally could not have done this road trip if he had still been with us. So in his passing, he gifted us the opportunity to go out on the open road. And it turned out to be an even greater gift than we could ever have imagined. Coming from the East Coast and living in a city, we started our trip out very, very city-oriented. Like, let's visit New York, let's visit Atlanta, let's visit New Orleans, let's visit Houston. And then we hit West Texas. And I don't know how familiar you are with the geography of our lovely country, but Texas is fucking massive, and West Texas is just like straight desert. Like, make sure you get your gas and your water when you have the chance because you might get fucking stranded kind of desert. So I basically closed my eyes and I was like, boop, and I just picked an Airbnb that was halfway between Houston and southern New Mexico, and off we went. And we're pulling up to our Airbnb and it's a dirt road and there's dust flying everywhere and there's cows off in the distance and it's just open sky and not a human in sight. And our Airbnb was tiny. I remember I counted paces. I stood at the very front entrance and I walked all the way back, and it was 23 steps from the door to the back of the room. And to my surprise, I fucking loved it. I breathed differently there. There was this sense of calm, being surrounded by nothing but nature and groundedness and safety that I hadn't felt maybe ever. And for the first time, I started to wonder if maybe I wasn't a city girl after all. But this theory needed further testing. So I asked Zach if I could take a huge gamble and book an entire month in rural New Mexico. And I remember saying to him, I might be crazy, but I just have this vision of us in a cute little adobe casita on the side of the highway surrounded by nothing but desert for miles, and we might absolutely hate it. But there's a chance that we will fucking love it. And he was down, so we booked an Airbnb about 30 minutes north of Santa Fe, and we woke up every morning to the sound of roosters crowing and horses neighing, and there were no people around. It could not have been more different from our 5th-story apartment in downtown Philadelphia. Question answered. Turns out I'm not a city girl. One day in New Mexico, we took a spontaneous day off, very rebellious of us. We went hiking in northern New Mexico, and we went to this place that was all white. I want you to picture white rocks and white sand just glistening, and this place looked like it was carved for the gods. And I was used to East Coast dense forest full of mosquitoes and ticks, and you got to spray DEET on yourself, and it was just totally different. And usually when we're hiking, if nature calls, you just find a bush and do your business, right? But in this place, I would not allow Zach to go to the bathroom. I said, I do not know what gods may come down and smite us if we dare desecrate their sacred place of worship. This place, the only way I can describe it is that it felt holy. We weren't on a hike, we were on a spiritual experience. And then we went to Ghost Ranch, which is where Georgia O'Keeffe lived. And I remember saying to Zach, I think we found it. I think this is my favorite place in the entire world. It's these majestic cliffs and they have these gradients with like red rock and orange and yellow and white and gray just stacked on top of each other. It's beautiful. And there's plants everywhere that look like they're from an alien planet I have never seen before. It's just grand. And I was awestruck. Honestly, it reminded me of the land before time. Like, it looked so prehistoric. I kept expecting to see a brontosaurus head just like peek up over the cliffs and look at us. And talk about perspective. You are this teeny tiny little human in this vast, vast landscape that has existed since long before humans were even a thought or a cell on this planet. Nature that's so vast and open like that, it's a spiritual experience. It's humbling. There's nothing like it. I also remember being forced to reckon with my fear of heights. Well, technically it is a fear of falling. It's this one part of the hike where you're climbing up and you're at about 800 feet higher than where you started, which, if you're from the super flat East Coast like me, is the equivalent of being at the top of a 65-story building, and it's vertical. So just picture you're on the side of a 65-story building and you're vertically climbing up, just that when you get to the top, you have the dizzying pleasure of looking back down from whence you came. I'm at this point and I'm vertical and my heart is just pounding out of my ribs. It's one of those things where, like, you literally can hear your heart beating in your ear. Like, panic attack is starting to set in. I'm starting to get a little bit of tunnel vision, but I just keep fucking moving because I am terrified that if I stop, I'm going to be paralyzed with fear and stuck on the side of this mountain forever. And Zach is going to have to carry my ass down. And Zach is behind me. And he's like, babe, I'll catch you if you fall. He loves me so much. But I did make it up. And I got over the cliff. I didn't look behind myself. And then I safely anchored myself to a rock. And once I felt pretty secure, I peered over the edge. And I will say the view was worth it. There was a different day in New Mexico where I consumed some magical herbs. If you know, you know. And oof, doing it in the desert. I remember laying out there buck-ass naked, just staring up at this blue sky and just reveling in it. It was so stunning. I was so grateful to just be exactly where I was. I didn't feel overstimulated by all the sounds of the city, not having to worry about the people and the energy and that, oh, I'm going to turn the corner and some guy's going to catcall me, or a guy's going to do whatever the fuck guys do to girls who are walking alone in the city. And literally being completely naked outside in a place that I had never been in, I felt safer than I had ever felt in my 10 years in Philadelphia. And as the day started to close, I was standing there in the front door, still naked. I was naked that whole day. And I'm watching the sunset. If you've seen the movie Dune, it is kind of like, when the sun is setting and it's this view out on Arrakis and you see spice and just kind of kissing the sand. It was like that. Just the energy was sparkling and it was glowing and it was so beautiful. And I'm standing there totally vulnerable and I feel totally safe. And I get this just gong in my gut and this little excited fluttering in my chest. And I said to Zach, we're moving here, right? We're going to do this. And he wrapped his arms around me and he said, yeah, baby, I think we might. We visited over 65 places in 17 months. There were a lot of places that we really liked. There were a lot of places that we were like, yeah, we could live here. But inevitably, when it was time to pack up our car, get on the road, head to a new place, there would be this feeling of peace, it's been real, on to the next, excitement for the next place that we were going to go. Santa Fe was different. Out of the 68 places we visited, Santa Fe was the only place that I thought, damn, I wish we had more time there. When we inevitably made the decision to pack up our entire Philadelphia life and move to Santa Fe, it was a decision made purely from our guts. We didn't know a soul in Santa Fe. I didn't even know, how do you find friends? Finding friends as an adult is hard. And how do you do it if you're not in a city? Where are the people? What do you do? And specifically being in Philadelphia, the queer community was a really important part of our experience. And I was like, are there even queer people in Santa Fe? I didn't know. But it just felt right. So we took this leap. And for locals, Santa Fe has a reputation that when newcomers arrive, it either embraces you with open arms or it spits you back out. It's one or the other. And when we arrived, it was like bam, 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 bam. Everything worked out so smoothly. We found this great place to stay, a rental unit that was near enough to the city and like things that were happening, but also felt super secluded and like in nature. All of our stuff got shipped from Philadelphia and nothing broke. I moved so many times in Philadelphia, and even when I moved like 2 blocks over, something always broke in the move. Like that was wild. We moved halfway across the country and all of our stuff was good to go. And we met a community of like-minded, queer, artsy, outdoor people within less than 2 months of moving here. I remember when it happened. Zach and I were in the rental unit and we were like, we have to meet people and we're never going to meet people if we don't leave this house. But like, where do you go? We didn't know. So we just go downtown, we pick a random coffee shop and we walk in, just kind of like hoping something will happen. And it did. We met the barista. Their name was Lolo. Side note, Santa Fe people have the best names. And Lolo was super friendly and they were chatting with us for like 15 minutes. And honestly, we were just happy to be talking to someone who wasn't each other. And then at the end, Lolo goes, by the way, my trans friend is having a birthday party next week. You two seem really cool. Would you want to come? And I'm like, the first person that we met here, not only did they invite us to a party where we could meet other people, they're going to be queer people there. Are you fucking kidding me? So we like exchanged numbers, did the whole thing. We're very excited. Fast forward a week. It's Friday night. And I need to give you context for this. So we are living in Santa Fe, which is Mountain Standard Time, but we work East Coast hours. So 2 hours ahead, which basically means we go to bed super duper early. And if you know me, I need my sleep. So I go to bed at 9 p.m. And if it's past 9 p.m., I am very tired and I get very grumpy. So when I received the birthday invitation and it said that the party started at 9, which if it says it starts at 9, it doesn't actually start at 9. I was like, ooh, am I going to be able to do this? But I put on my big girl pants and we arrived at the party not at 9, but at 10 because we were like, okay, the party will probably have gotten started by that point, right? The other thing you need to know is what it was like finding a community in Philadelphia because it was fucking hard. So in Philly, the burlesque community there's a lot of overlap with the queer community there. We attended burlesque events for a full fucking year before people in the community even started talking to us, let alone inviting us places. I don't know if it's a big city thing, but like the community is very insular and protective. So you have to like really go through your paces and prove that you're legit for people to start to open up to you. So given all that, I want you to picture Zach and I, and we're nervous and I'm tired because it's after my bedtime. And I definitely am having like social anxiety and my stomach is like doing all kinds of things. Took my Tums, took my Pepto, you know how it goes. And we walk into this party at 10 p.m. because someone we met for 15 minutes invited us. And there are 4 people there. And if this had been Philadelphia and we walked into the home of someone that we didn't know, it would have been a huge faux pas. And obviously Lolo wasn't even there yet because now I know Lolo arrives everywhere super fucking late. So we literally knew no one in the room and we were sitting there, we're just like, ooh, this is really awkward. And also, did we just step in it? And then the birthday girl turns around. She sees us, her eyes go wide. And she just goes, welcome! People I don't know heard about my birthday party and they came. Oh my God, I feel so special! And she gives us this huge hug. And if I didn't know before, now I knew Santa Fe was different. We didn't find Santa Fe despite all the shit that happened in Philadelphia. The shit that happened in Philadelphia happened so that we could find Santa Fe. I'm Carolina. This is Strawberry Lightning coming to you from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I'll see you on the next one.